Hello, friends. Welcome. I am Ananda Rose. Thank you for joining me today. And I have the lovely Monique Langerak with me. Hi, Monique. How are you?
Hello, hello, beautiful souls. I am doing fabulous, thank you. I'm enjoying the rainy weather that we got over here, but it's not too bad.
I'm
It's
glad
always
you're enjoying it.
nice to see the sun after a storm.
This is true. And of course, everything's relative and relevant. Auckland, of course, is just in its own weird zone. And well, the whole country is really experiencing some extreme weathers in some places or some place or the other, right? Both islands. And who knows, Stewart Island might be too. Well. But what about your world? It's been a while since you've been here. We spoke about probably, what, January, February this year, I think, something like that, or end of February. And obviously, you've been very busy because you got really busy after that with some stuff going on in your world. And then, of course, now you're busy. And of course, you work full time as well, and you still do all the energy healing. So you got a lot of energy, Monique. I don't have that kind of energy anymore, and I really love it that you can do that. Probably should ask my guides to bestow that kind of energy to me. So what's been happening in your world? Before we talk about today, we're talking about a package you're offering.
Mhm.
But tell me about a little bit about the energy side and how things are going.
Awesome, beautiful. Yeah, well, what's been happening in my world? That is such a deep question. I love it. And thank you so much yeah, sometimes I feel like I've got immense energy and sometimes I feel like I need to rest and recover.
Yeah.
But that yeah, what's been happening in my world? Been seeing a lot of I guess galactical beings that have been coming up and a lot of client work, which is, yeah, super fascinating. I really love that and appreciate it. It's probably something that I'll touch on a little bit further as we go, just in particular with the reference to this case study of some of the energy healing work that I've been doing.
Okay. Hmm.
Um, but
Right.
yeah, no, everything's been like really, really good, I'd say. Yeah, it's really interesting to see just how things are kind of unfolding and seeing the different energies that have been emerging and everyone kind of, feeling a certain way. And I think it's just important, I guess, for me, I just keep meditating and keep kind of ensuring that my energy is yeah, is I always like to say catch my calm. I like to hope that people are catching my calm.
I love that. I love that because, oh, I could catch some calm. Thank you very much. So I'm glad to be in your energy space. Right.
Sending it your way.
It's been a bit busy. It's been a bit busy with, family stuff. I was saying that a few months ago. Well, probably a couple of months ago, I said that, there's lots of family stuff going on. So I haven't been doing a lot of work on the channel, but I kind of seem to have made this comeback in the last 2 weeks where I'm doing some interviews where people have approached me to interview them. And so, I'm like, yeah, I'm happy to do that. I just did an interview last week with Anna Barker, and I must say, I watched the interview afterwards, and I thought, this is what I really love about the work we do here is this organic stuff is being real and actually just talking energy, talking current energy, talking what is happening. I don't know, but I feel like for a while I kind of got away from that. And I'm so glad that I had Anna Barker on and I could feel that. And I thought, I've got to come back to me. That is my balance. That is my center point. And it's like we just have to do the journey the way it's being done. And so there you are. This is how I felt. So I'm really glad that we're talking because it just gives me another opportunity to put my spin on things and to talk energy. And I'm really curious, and you're going to tell us later about the galactic side of things. But I'm going to
Mm,
talk now. We'll talk now about this modality, energy modality or healing modality you're offering. It's called quantum healing and soul integration, and you are offering a package for this kind of healing, quantum healing and soul integration. What is that all about?
beautiful. Yes, so it's actually a 3 month package. So it's really about going really deep into those, not only transmuting those energetic and energy blocks, but looking at different soul patterns that people have experienced throughout lifetimes, You know, some of these energy that's stuck, like this residue that can stuck in repeating these patterns. Um, this is also about, like, I personally believe that every human, I feel like humans, we don't know how incredible we are, like we really don't. And I feel like a lot of it is unlocking people's own innate abilities as well. Um, yeah, so that kind of transforms. Of course, there is the getting different light codes, energy codes, and downloads, and soul activation for different timelines and pathways. Absolutely, but it's more about really looking at people's. It's a merge of like my trauma counseling practice and really looking at the areas of their life that they feel need to be tended to. And then delving deep into that and looking at not only the DNA, not only the past life, the galactical, like not only all of this, but the soul recorrecting. So nurturing all of that to heal people's lives, like the way that their pathway forward. And
Mm,
yeah, it's been really incredible to see how that's been playing out. Um, yeah, it's been amazing actually. So I really
mm.
wanted to open it up to everybody and just send it out there because it's something that I really believe in, and I'm just yeah really interested and curious to see what's been unfolding after this
Okay.
healing has taken place.
So this is a 3 month package or 3 month process. Through the modality is uh, goes over 3 months, and you've got weeks in there. So it looks to me like what you're saying is that every week there will be something that people will be doing in this program that you've got, right? And every week there's a topic, like for example, you're saying week one, assessment and quantum soul mapping, uncover energetic blocks, soul contracts, and past life patterns. So you like really got into that because you didn't like lead up to it. You were like, let's go for it. This is the platform we're starting on, and that's what we're going to do. That's where we're starting on the core,
Yeah,
right? Right.
that's exactly right. It's delving right deep into it. I don't waste a second. I spend every part of your valuable time just getting deep into the
Hmm.
work. Yeah.
Right. So 12 weeks, 12 weeks of this. You're doing it on a weekly basis. How long? How long? Um,
Absolutely. Weekly basis, and we do a Zoom session every week. And
mm,
in between that, there is, um, check-in emails, there's personal
yeah.
guidance, different meditations to help ensure that the time that we spend together in those one-to-one sessions, we're using all of that time.
Mm,
So you can, the other stuff in between, but it's all keeping you on that same track, on that same
yeah.
pathway. Mm.
I'm just looking at it because I'm reading what you've just said now, and I really have to say that, wow, Monique, I'm really impressed with this because I can see the integration of this life coaching part of you and the energy side of you, and then also we have all of this other parts where, just talking about soul contracts, the Akashic records are probably part of this because you're going into the soul's history. And, Akashic Records, as the way I understand it, is about our lifetimes on Earth. The Antares Code is about lifetimes in the cosmos, but like just because many people are needing to shift and clear for this time, or they exit the planet, whenever that would be, because I believe there's a lot of us not returning here. So
Mm.
I guess that's helpful for anybody who's
Yeah.
not returning, or making sure, hey, I'm not going to have anything to return here for. A little bit controlling because I've been saying to my guides, don't not returning. Make sure it's
Mm.
got and so that's why I'm saying that. But maybe I don't know if that's the right way to think about it. But that's how I feel. But so this is very much all of this blended together.
Mm. Mm. I think that's an absolutely perfect way to be looking at it, Like, I mean, I think it's a really cool way, you know, for to be looking at things, because if we're looking at things of this is my last time here, we're looking at I want to resolve it, I want to sort it all out,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
leave nothing behind. Um, and yeah, it can be really interesting as well as looking at how different people were almost, for some people having gone through this modality, what's been uncovered is that they never actually wanted to come to Earth, but
Yeah.
they had that frequency, that high frequency that unfortunately they were needed. So they got sent back against their will and kind of reconciling how they feel about that. You got sent to somewhere where you wouldn't have chosen to come, and processing, working through, those feelings behind that. Like I, had to spend this life giving or being of high frequency when I actually wasn't, like I feel a little resentful maybe, that I got sent back here, so processing all of that and how that can unfold into our different lives and different experiences, workplace, all of that. Yeah.
Wow, that's an interesting concept. I've never thought about myself like that, but I think something to think about because I actually think, I mean, I said to somebody a couple of weeks ago, like there were some things that they were talking about, and I was like, I actually feel like, I'm sorry, I feel like there's an interference when I'm speaking. And sorry if there's, can you hear it? Is it okay?
No, I can
Okay.
hear you perfectly.
Okay, that's good. I'm just like hearing this. See, I'm hearing it again. Let's put my cord on top there. Um, I said to somebody 2 weeks ago, we're talking about the work I'm currently doing and I'm talking about the how at this point, there's a lot of work I've done, but I don't see the fruit of it. And it feels like in a trap because it's like I'm doing what I feel called to do. And I go ahead and I do that and I make all the attempts and it falls flat, and I'm like, I don't know why this is not working out. And it's very frustrating to be in that position, but it would seem there are a lot of light workers that are in that position.
Mm,
And when you're going through it and you don't hear other people saying it, you think, oh my gosh, this is my life, only my life, but I said to the person, the reason I do what I do and I have to keep doing some of those things is because I'm stationed on Earth. And it just came out without me thinking, I'm stationed on Earth.
yes.
I committed to this, to being stationed on Earth. And if you know you're stationed on Earth and you're not here just for yourself, you're here for the collective. Like you're here for the collective, I'm here for the collective, everyone's here for the collective. But some of us, but what does that mean? Like, are we here for the collective to work individually, or are we here holding energy and high frequency for the people as a whole? Right. And that is the question. And so
Mm,
saying that I know that I'm stationed, so I'm probably going to have to just accept the fate, but it's not okay. I'm not enjoying
mm,
it. You know, I'm not enjoying like, okay, I do all the stuff and it feels
mm,
like everything's been stripped away that was my security. And here I am
mm,
doing this. And but I'm
mm.
not seeing the turnaround. I'm not, and it's not a complaint. It's just saying, well, that, you
Yeah,
know,
that's
that,
what you're noticing.
yes, that's what I'm noticing. And so now when you say that, I do have to wonder, maybe we don't fit onto maybe people are not, I won't say myself, I don't know the answer to that yet, but maybe some people are not fitting into the earth way because we actually weren't meant to be fitting into the earth way. This is not a home, but I love it. But,
Absolutely.
you know, yeah. Sorry, I digress.
No, 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 you didn't. You actually went deep. You went exactly deep into exactly what we were talking about. And a lot of people do experience these similar feelings. And what I've come across is for some people, it's actually the first time incarnating on Earth. And when they've never been here, didn't want to come here, and then they ended up here, it's like there is so much to reconcile with. If we think about we get told to do something for a job in our workplace, and we're like, oh, I can do that task. I'm not excited about it, but I'll do it. And we can think like, maybe I feel a little bit annoyed that I had to do that task and my coworkers didn't or
Yeah.
whatever. But imagine feeling that as a lifetime experience, as committing, now you're in it and it's just got to unfold the way it does because your soul is just so beautiful. Your soul is just so bright and so big and so needed in many areas of the cosmos. So, yeah, like how do we reconcile with that? Mm,
hmm Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say that about my soul, that it's so big and it's so beautiful and all that. What I will say though is, what
I
I
would
will,
say that about your Ananda.
thank you. But I mean, yeah, I don't think of it like that. I just think of it as, this has been a personal thing for me. It's like, it's been my life for some time now. And I don't know that I have the patience for it anymore. I
Yeah.
like it's too much. And
Mm,
and yeah, no, finally all the esoteric teachers are talking about it. Like Tim Wilde has been talking about it, and Lee Harris is talking about it as well. And I'm like, oh, finally somebody decided to be the spokesperson for it and say this stuff, because like when you're going through it, you think, oh my gosh,
yeah,
yeah, you think, oh,
yeah.
does anybody understand this is happening? They all look so well. I must be the only one, and whilst I don't want to be the only one, I want somebody to have empathy with me, that kind of thing.
100%,
Yeah.
100%.
So
Yeah.
coming back to this, so I'm glad I said that because perhaps somebody out there is feeling that way, and maybe this is the thing they need. Just never know.
Yeah,
Um,
I actually really appreciate how raw you've been with that because you're right. That's exactly, and it's so funny because you described this beautifully, Ananda. You said I was talking and like the words were just coming out, and I said I'm stationed here. That's often how these things unfold is that I'm talking with these people and they're like, what am I even saying? Someone was saying, I miss my people. I miss my people. They're not here on earth. And they said, well, what am I even talking about? And it wasn't until we actually went into that galactical side of things where we found out that they were actually on a planet called Attica,
oh, wow.
which I haven't actually found any record of. I know it's in the Palladian star system.
Okay.
I'm checking in with other uh, remote viewers to see if they can give me any more information, any more insight on this planet. But this has come up for about 3 or 4 people that I've been working
Wow.
with.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm.
yeah. So yeah, it was just really interesting because the way you described being stationed on Earth, I was
Yeah.
like, wow, that's
Yeah.
exactly the way it unfolded.
So that's interesting, that planet called Adekica, because I haven't heard of Adekica.
Mm,
My planet, my incarnation, this is my first incarnation, is what I'm understanding, is Era, which is the Pleiades.
ah,
Right. And so I've not heard of Era,
mm-hmm,
but I kind of think, but Earth, fifth dimensional Earth, is referred to as Terra, being an era and coming to transform to the Terra. But the thing is that I know that in terms of incarnation, it's very good to talk about this. In terms of incarnation, I've been on Earth many, many times, is
yeah,
my recollection of it for myself personally. And perhaps
yes,
somebody out there who hears this might start to identify, recognize some things. So I've been on Earth many times. Someone just came out and said to me one day, 72 times on
mm,
Earth. And
wow,
and when I asked, someone did my Akashic reading, and I said, so how old is my soul? And she said, well, actually, you can't even say how old the soul is. It's an infinite number because the soul has had so many incarnations in different places. And the number, like, and then she said, what's in your mind's eye? And I could see it. I could see
mm,
four numbers, and I could see the
yeah,
last one just going up and 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 going up. And
yeah,
and that's the thing, because even though my incarnation might have been on Era, my
mm,
initial incarnation from the monad might have been on
mm,
Era, I have been in so many star systems and so many planets, so many things doing whatever my soul is meant to do. This one on Earth is pretty tough. This time is pretty tough.
yeah,
I don't know that it was tougher before,
mm,
but it has been like overall, it's all an overall thing. I've had some really amazing things in this life, and I have amazing things still, but the toughest I've ever had it has been in the last 3 years.
wow,
And that's the
wow,
that's the key, because in the past, when I've had something similar and it's tough, I
mm,
something shifts and I move out of that.
yeah,
And
for sure.
this time,
Yeah,
the whole thing kind of started 2018, but the toughest has
mm,
been the last 3 years. But this time it's like sticking and it won't go. And I'm like,
yeah,
eventually it's going to be that I'm just going to give in and say, that's it, I'm done. I've already found acceptance. That's why I can be raw about it,
Mm-hmm.
as in this
Mm-hmm.
is the situation. And I
Okay.
think it's very much about trusting you're taken care of,
Mm,
trusting that you are here. And even if it feels like nobody's looking and nobody's watching, somebody is.
mm.
So, because surely somebody is, I know somebody is. That's why I'm here. That's why we're talking, you know,
100%.
right?
100%.
So I think this, yeah. So the galactic self is kind of the galactic side of things. Tell us about the galactic side of things, because I know we already started talking about galactic side, but what about the galactic side here?
Oh man, I love this chat. So for me, what I really love most about it is for a long time in my life, I was only able to talk to my dad about, aliens or what it, or like, or my family. So I just really love the openness that people have. Like, people have been having these beliefs for a long time, and it's like we're finally able to share it. So when it comes to like the galactical side of things, there's a lot of so I know myself, I'm actually from Attica as well. I'm from the planet so it's a planet and I'm not sure where exactly it is in the Pleiades. I know that one Earth year is 60,000 years on Attica. I know that they have a really cool like monetary system. So how it works in Attica, because what I saw was my skin had all this gold tattoos on it. And it was really confusing because there are some kind of humanoid species in the water that also transfer to the earth, and there's some
Yeah.
that just live on the earth. Um, so with Attica, when people do something good for the community, they're rewarded by a golden tattoo, which runs through the meridian points of the body, which means that their life is increased. So the more good you do, the longer you live in an unusual way. And rather than, you know, like the work is always to serve, it's always for the community. That's kind of like the only like job there is just to
Hmm.
give back and to give yourself. And that could be in many different ways, not in just in anyway, the more you do, the more tattoos that you get and the longer you live. So it's almost like a sense of pride of,
Yeah.
doing more for the community. Um, so I know that, and this is going to sound a bit out the gate if it doesn't
It's
already.
okay.
So so it's a 5D realm, so they're actually in 5 dimension.
Yes.
I'm projecting my consciousness back to here. So I'm primarily existing on Attica is
Yes.
my so simultaneously right now she's projecting her consciousness back and this
Wow.
is the taking exactly because like I thought, oh, it's so strange, it's so unusual because some people, like, I know my life, what do they call it, your soul, I'm a projector, you know what I'm talking
Yes,
about,
yes,
eh?
I know that code. I can't remember it now, but it's that important. It's not emotion code, is it? Or something else. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm a generator. So
Yeah,
yeah,
oh, you're a generator, beauty, oh,
yeah.
amazing. So I'm a projector, and I just thought I always attributed that. Oh, that's probably why I have, always had such a problem with finding the self. Like that's a real common experience with projectors. They have trouble discovering who they are because they always kind of projecting in a lot of ways.
Mm.
And then I was like, well, gosh, that's doubly hard for me, isn't it? If I'm projecting myself from Attica to this realm. And it's like, what is that? Is that a fragment? Is that a
Yeah,
shadow? Is it a you know, reality game or whatever they call it,
yeah.
Yeah, so it's just super interesting and yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's a little bit about Attica and some of the things that I've discovered just from channeling. So
Mm.
yeah, I'd be very curious to see if anyone else has had similar experiences about Attica. I'm trying to find more information on
Okay.
it. Yeah, very, very cool.
So,
Mm.
I'm so excited.
I
Um,
love it. That's how I felt when you were talking, just super excited.
I want to know that me. I just want to connect with that me, the one that's like, I mean, that me that I need to hire me that needs that's out there. And maybe that's the key for me is to connect with that galactic me, and I haven't done that yet.
Mm,
That's interesting, but I want to say I'm not surprised about what you said about your planets. I'm also
mm,
not surprised about what you said about she's projecting here to you and you here like right now and the work you do. So the people from Attica must be very unique because your work is unique. It is definitely Monique unique, you know.
mm. Thank you. Oh, that's amazing.
And because, I was talking to a couple of people that had a session or two with you, and they were fascinated by the work you do and still talking about it. And I still haven't had a chance to have a conversation with one of them to talk about, he was fascinated about entities that you could see it and you could remove it and stuff like that. And so even when I've had my session with you, I thought, oh my gosh, that's really interesting. It's like, wow. And because you almost think, oh, can this really be real? Like, can this removing entities and all of that? And we know that over time we learn it is new. Not new. It is real. It is happening. Those things are there. And I think one of the things I've learned for myself is I take my space for granted. I take my energy space for granted that there aren't any foreign bodies within it.
Mm,
I'm kind of like,
mm,
I've done my meditation, I've called in the guidance. Some days I don't call in the guidance. I take them for granted that they're there because I'm here and but
yeah.
that's just the me that I am. And maybe when I hear things like that about entities in the energy field and all of that, that is to remind me that I do need to have my spiritual hygiene. I need to practice spiritual hygiene and make sure every day that I call in those people that look after me. But my mind is a little bit hairy flary. It's always been on earth like that. And I
Yeah.
don't know where I'm grounded, but I've really had to work at grounding myself on earth because I'm very hairy flary, I'm fiery and I'm hairy. This is the way to say it, right? Because well that's what I have here. Those are my placements even in my birth chart. But
Mm,
and so it's taken me a long time to ground because even
mm,
as an adult, even as a, 35-year-old, I can see how airy
mm,
I was and
mm,
how flighty that can look. Not, it's not a play on words, it's actually the truth about it. Because when you're feeling like airy, you
mm.
like feel like you are flying all the time. Your
Yeah,
mind's flying all the time. And
totally.
so you have to kind of like ground yourself and come to it. But in those times, when I was like 35 or whatever, I didn't know about this ground yourself, Rose. Now I know about it, but I didn't know then. And so it's taken me a long time to journey to here. And so now I get it. And I get that, okay, even though you're hairy flary, I also struggle to have structure sometimes. But that's like the neurodivergent thing. But the thing is, many people who are neurodivergent, I've come to realize, is not because something is wrong with them. We're not
Mm,
from here.
mm,
We are visiting here. We are stationed here.
mm.
And so we and that's the part that can make life feel very uncomfortable on Earth. And we feel like, what the heck am I doing here?
Can I ask you something, Rose?
Yes.
It's just like a really interesting use of words, stationed.
Yeah.
Like, do you find that super fascinating? Like, what I was so curious about is what does that word mean for you? Like, what does it mean to be stationed somewhere?
Okay. So how do I put this? So for a long time, I believed that I was part of the fleet, or I am part of the fleet of Commander Ashtor's fleet, and
Mm-hmm.
and that we traverse the universes and galaxies, looking after. We get commissioned out there and we traverse.
Mm-hmm.
Traverse doesn't mean like we're like hooligans or anything like that, but we are protectors of the galaxies and the universe. Maybe we're guardians. I don't know, but we go and we do this. I don't know how I
Mm,
know that, but I know that I am part of that. And
totally.
and a couple of years ago, I had an interview with somebody who had said
Mm,
that. They saw me and I was their Arcturian captain of a
Uh,
fleet.
yeah,
And
right.
so,
That.
yes, they believe that. And I was quite embarrassed by it because initially I didn't want to even hear it because I thought I cannot think of myself that way
Mm,
because I won't give myself that kind of attributes. I don't know. No, my guidance didn't tell me because my guides have to tell me first before if I'm going to do that. If I'm going to claim that, my guidance has to tell me that. I will know that.
mm,
If that's the thing, right? So
mhm.
anyway, over time, I have had moments where. So last year, I had a time where I was doing a meditation, and so I had some. I have always been able to smell space, to
Ah,
feel space.
that's your what do you call it? Spiritual senses, the mo ones most heightened to you.
I can hear it. I can hear space,
Hmm.
and I don't know
Hmm.
how I can do that, but it feels blue, but
I believe.
dark blue.
Yeah.
And it feels quiet. And I can always hear, like when I think about Commander Ashtar and we're in the fleet, in this,
Hmm.
like this convoy or whatever, I hear
Hmm.
the clanging of the spaceships and I can hear it. I can hear us moving. It's always
I believe.
beautiful. It's always gentle. It's always calm. There is
Mm.
no, so you understand the hairy, flary bits of it, right? Why the
Mm.
brain is always like that. But nevertheless, the thing about it is that last year I was taken up to the High Council of the High Councils after one of my
Hmm.
meditations. I don't know who these people are, but I mean, and so it's kind of maybe even a thing you say, and it can upset some people because it's like, why are you taken up to the High Council of the High Council? But I don't know. I'm just sharing my thoughts about that. And I looked like
Absolutely.
this. I looked like Princess Leia because I had this hairstyle. You know, those round things that she has on a thing,
Yeah.
right? When I got up
No.
there was the council,
Mm.
and Commander Ashton was there. And
Mm.
what he said to me was, they called me back because they wanted to
Mm.
say that up to that point, I'd done whatever I needed to do.
Wow. Nice. Getting that confirmation.
Yes, I'd done whatever I needed to do. I am the commander
Mm.
of a fleet, maybe many fleets. So I
Mhm.
work with him. I don't work for him. I don't work under his command. I work with him.
Beautiful.
But I mean, it's almost like you can say this and it feels, well, it's not conceit. It's saying, because when I got these downloads, my first time
Mm.
getting these downloads, I'm like, Rose, what do you think of yourself? What do you mean? Why are you saying that? You know?
It can it can be confronting, right? Like, because it can be like you've had a perception of your identity for a while, and then you may know that it wasn't spot on 100%, but it's like to have this solid information to just know that there's something else. It can be confronting. It can be challenging, right? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
100%.
It is, and it's also like we've been living in a time for
Mm.
where most of our lives, people would have said, you're mad if you said that to them, right?
And
It's only
how,
like now,
mm,
last maybe 3 years, people are starting to talk about their galactic selves. It's out there, it's open, it's like, and so I
that
feel,
the government has full on hired people to convince people that they're crazy when they experience you know yeah, when they experience interactions or
yeah.
encounters. You're absolutely right. It's only recently, like, what a time to be alive, eh?
Exactly. And they've been talking about 2025 is when we'll definitely have communications and galactic self. But perhaps maybe governments will come out and admit that part.
Mm.
But because I had it long ago, I don't know, 2025 is not for me the year I get to know my galactic self. I've known of my galactic self from probably a young child that there was something up there. There was all of that, like I know about dragons and like I know about Merlin, the magician, like I've felt connected to that since I was ever heard the story of Merlin and the dragon and Excalibur and King Arthur and all of that. Like all of that when you were a child, you know,
That's it. We are so much smarter when we're children. Like, honestly, we are so much wiser, so much more open
yeah,
to,
yeah.
fascinating. Mm.
So when I wanted, I'll just talk about the high council. So when I was taken up there, I saw myself. I won't go into the descriptions of the dressing and all of that because the dress, I need to say I am not saying that I'm not saying anything about a high council of a high. It is the high council of high councils, yes, but I'm not saying anything about that because on Earth, the high council, what that means on Earth, might be very different galactically. I need to say
Yeah.
that because I know that there was some kind of ego issue going on with that with some people that I was connected to at the time, and somebody I trusted, I said this to, and it kind of just like the relationship changed. But I need to say, if I am saying high council of high council in the galaxy, it's different. Maybe there
Yeah.
are high councils, but it's not meaning we are the high council. We are better than everybody. It just means we're called a high council,
Mm.
and maybe these people are in charge of all the high councils. What I
Mm.
do know is about myself is that I work with the seraphim. I know that I go into different dimensions. And yes, although I come from a planet, I think Era is
Mm.
also a fifth dimensional planet, but we go
Mhm.
into other dimensions.
Yeah,
And
I would believe that.
go
I would
on.
believe that. And I know
Yeah.
a lot of them say like, you know, Earth is the densest realm. Like that's as hard as it goes. Like, that's why so many people don't voluntarily come here.
Yeah, and I mean we know this. It's been called Earth School for a long time. We've been hearing that. It kind of makes sense. For me, I was just thinking about this today. The channel is called the Great Awakening Generator, and I actually wondered, do I add Great Awakening Generator to Ananda Rose? Because I just one of the th but is it applicable for this time? Probably not.
Mhm.
Maybe awakening generator is no longer the words to be using because the awakening has begun. The generating of that has begun. It's no longer applicable. But
Mhm.
what I know about it is that, you know, we've been going through this. We've been sure that's what I came for. I came to Earth to awaken, to inform. Some people don't like the inform. Like often I have people who don't like what I'm saying, like whether it's a personal level, whether it's from the energetic space or whatever. But I'm gonna have to say, I make no apologies for telling my truths.
Beautiful.
And so I'm here to awaken people to themselves.
Mm.
On a personal level, that's what I'm here to do. On a collective level, I'm here to hold light and space. That's what people do. That's what many of us have come to do here. We've come to a very difficult place. We've
Mm.
come and tried many times, some of us.
Hmm.
And therefore, old souls on earth, that's what you've been doing. We've been witches, we've been whatever, if you've had more than one lifetime on earth. I personally have not been aware of meeting anybody who's having a first lifetime on earth. And it's
Mm. Yeah.
interesting you said that because maybe I have been meeting
Yeah.
people and not just realizing that about them.
Yeah, yeah. It was actually a really fascinating thing when because I tapped into another lifetime and I was so confused because this person had like 20 children. And I was like, what? How did you like Earth beings, that's pretty hard to achieve. Like what like what's going on? Um so yeah, that was actually a really confusing experience as well because I didn't actually realize it took a few times to realize that that wasn't actually her Earth life. Um, Actually, she had then confirmed with me, yeah, I never wanted to have kids, because, I said, stay up there. You're too good for this earth. Stay up there. So
Oh,
she was, and she always thought that she was referring to heaven until we spoke about, her galactical roots, and she was like, ah, of course, like, she's sitting there wondering up at the sky, telling them, up at the stars, saying to stay there. Yeah,
wow.
really, yeah.
I've been
But
doing that since I was a child. Why am I here? What's up
yeah,
there?
yeah. And I think especially if you're stationed, right? Like you're probably, yeah, I think that's a really cool concept because I just think of when I think of stationed, I think of, you know, literally like the amount of frequencies that you're able to access, right? When you're stationed somewhere. So yeah, I thought that was really cool because I was like, man, I could imagine just the amount of things that you've got the ability to tap into. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I think I do, and I own that. And
absolutely.
like I just like I was mentioning to you before we went to record, how I had an experience with my cousin who's just passed away, and I haven't known her from the time she was a baby, and then now before she passed, I had
Mm,
a present in my energy space, and I knew that she was there, and it's almost like she needed to be in my energy space to say goodbye to me for whatever reason. And yet I was there before she was born. I was there at the time they announced that my aunt was pregnant with her, and um, I just feel like we this amnesia that we have to choose to be here on Earth.
yeah.
It really, the disfavor is that it kind of helps us forget who we
Mm,
are, who we truly are, and that can
absolutely.
be disadvantageous, right?
100%, 100%. And what I really like about like scientific studies, how like they're kind of opening their mind a little bit about this stuff. Like they've been observing that amnesia that we get, they reckon that it hits around like 6 or 7 years old, so
Yeah,
that we forget our past lives around that age.
yeah.
And what I actually noticed is I personally remember getting hit with this amnesia. Like I remember
Wow.
forgetting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then when I actually meditated on that, I was like, why? Like, why did I forget, And I pushed through it. And I actually remembered back then. And then I remembered between this life and the last when they were trying to persuade me to come to Earth, and I did not take that consideration lightly. I actually refused a number of times until I was sent back.
Okay. Wow.
I think, yeah, I think I actually did negotiate my way though, because I know that, I think I did say, look, I'm not going back there if I'm going to. I remember asking, oh yeah, yeah, no, I remember putting forward my request and they came back to me and they said, um, look, we're going to make sure that you're loved. You're going to have a good life, but you got a lot of responsibility as a result of that. And I was like, okay, because I know after remembering all of this between time, then remembering past lives and remembering they weren't so great, and I didn't have safety or love in a lot of them,
Mm.
so, and which is why I negotiated it. So you have the power to negotiate if you ever, if you ever do find yourself in between again. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Grief.
so it's really interesting.
Very interesting. I know that I've had to negotiate to stay
Mm,
when I've suspected that I'm going to be taken out. When something
yeah.
happened that I was going to be taken out. It's happened quite a few times in my life, actually, when something happened and afterwards and then I was like, okay, you guys, something
Mm,
or someone's trying to take me out. And
hmm
I negotiated when my daughter was quite young because I said, I'm not leaving here, not when she's that age. You
Absolutely.
know, uh, as much as I'm saying it's not fun at the moment, and sometimes I
Mm,
feel like leaving,
yeah, I
right?
bet.
And
I
it's
bet you
not
would.
the S word, it's just that I don't really want to, this is not
I'm,
fun.
my
Okay.
soul's tired, man. I'm exhausted. My soul's burnt
Exactly.
out.
Yeah,
100%.
exactly. And so, but I'm invested in the people that I love here. And that's the thing
Yeah,
about us.
that's
Love
beautiful.
is the thing that keeps us here. Love is the thing that causes us pain and suffering when we lose a loved one, right?
Absolutely.
Love, that love thing that makes the world go round, that makes the planet
Mm,
spin, that whatever and that's what we cling
mm,
on to here on Earth,
yeah,
right?
that's beautiful.
Yeah, and so I think right now in my life, as much as I say sometimes I wish I'm gone, but
Mm,
I want my dreams to come true in this lifetime. I want to
100%.
be with that person I think I should be with, and I want to have the blessings of a life and this home of my own and the and
Mm,
comfort and just travel more, see people,
yeah.
have more experiences on Earth. And for goodness sake,
Oh,
it should happen now if I'm not coming back.
and I was going to say, for crying out loud, Rose, it's your last time. Like, make the most of it, right? Like, go check out all the,
Exactly.
go dance in the rain, do that crazy stuff that you've always
Ex
wanted to do. How exciting!
exactly. Exactly. I mean,
What a,
yeah, I
yeah.
want to go to Uluru, for example, and I want to go to Glastonbury. I mean, I've been in
And
Glastonbury before, right? I don't have recollections of Uluru, but I have connections to those to the First Nations people there. But
Beautiful.
but I mean and more and more in New Zealand, I'm becoming aware of my Waitaha connections, and I'm also, it's really interesting that you come from a planet on the play in the Pleiades, and I do too. And of course,
Yeah, that
we
was
in New
fascinating.
Zealand are connected to Matariki, the Pleiades,
Hmm.
right? And this is a
Absolutely.
Lemurian connection as well. New Zealand's got the
Hmm.
Lemurian connection as well, so it's really interesting. And so
Yeah.
I'm here, and I've come here to make that to be connected. My
Mm.
thing about it is, I'm just going to bring this closer to me because I don't know why I'm hearing this interference like I am. Just bring it closer. So,
Be
so,
in another realm.
so I think it's interesting, right? That you saying that you come from a planet in the Pleiades.
Mm.
And, having said that, I am, as much as I'm tired, my soul's tired. I
Yeah.
still want to have, is it the earth self? Is it the ego that says, I still want to achieve my dreams? I still want to see the fruition of all I hoped for come to be my reality?
Or is that our innate emotional investment? You know what I mean? Like, is it okay for us to get emotionally invested in our life, knowing that we're not here for a long time? Like, is that okay? Are we, how boring would it be? Do we have no emotions? You know what I mean? I can't think of anything worse. People who shut themselves off from love, who are too afraid to love, like it's not a judgment. I respect however you navigate this world, of course. But, I just think to myself, those moments when I've like, been in relationships and I'm like, man, I just really wish I could have loved that person deeper or things like that. And I just think about how boring things are when we're not like fully excited and fully invested emotionally in our lives and wanting to see the outcomes and wanting to see those relationships fulfilled and our goals achieved. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's ego. I think it's something that can't necessarily, I think it's a feeling, and I don't think it's something that we can explain in words. I think it's
Yeah.
a experience.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
it's a multidimensional self that we are, you
Yeah,
know?
and I think it's so
Yeah.
cool
And how can
that
you be connected to Earth in the sense that you're here on Earth and have had lifetimes on here, but not have that rub off on you?
absolutely 100%. And like, I just feel like with all, the amount of lifetimes I can speak for myself that I've personally gone through and how like heck yeah, I want this to be the one that I get all the things that I want. Like, I want that for not just me, but I want
For
all
everyone.
my all my other lifetimes to feel that experience, like when I'm with my partner, fully engaged, fully like, this partner who we actually shared a lifetime with, what was it, probably like, well, two lifetimes before this, so what, this is our third lifetime together, like I know all those hardships and the, reasons beyond our control that things didn't work out. And I'm just so excited. Like, I'm just like, wow, like, he was taken from this earth before I was in our previous lifetime, which was very unfortunate. And I just think to myself, man, every day I'm so grateful. Like, I'm so lucky I get to live this for all three of us, I hope you all are feeling this,
I
feeling how good
know.
this
Yes, yes. And it's very interesting you say that because I've met I wouldn't call this a twin flame. I'll just say it's a soulmate, and I've kind of had reflections of the past life. And
is. Yeah.
it's very similar. I think I must have told you about this. And very similar. I've met him in this lifetime, obviously, as I was saying.
Mm,
Um, and for me, my desire is really to because I know I have the knowledge of that past life, and I know how it
mm,
was, and I wish that we could actually live that life and sort of maybe fulfill that and not fulfill that, but maybe have a good life together, have a long life together because it was a shortened life because he was taken away. He was taken away brutally. He was taken away in terrible circumstances. And I've done all the
mm,
healing work
mm,
to tie all the knots on my own because my guidance was to do that, and I did. I knew
mm,
things I didn't know I knew. Like I
mm,
was like, what? How? Whatever. But I've done whatever I can do. And now I'm at the
Definitely.
stage of I have to release
Yeah. Really.
because I've done what I was supposed to do. If I get
Mm,
anything after this
mm,
that will be my desire, that will be a bonus. But I'm also
mm,
having to say, I release and I accept that perhaps that's all it was.
mm.
So it's a blessing to be with that person.
And
Yeah.
Ananta, not to mention, I mean, it's like you're talking about your cousin that you've got like this deep connection with. It's like 100%. Of course, there are more connections out there for people, absolutely. But it's like look at the galactical part of you that's like in this warship, the warship, the spaceship where you're exploring Earth, exploring, you know, different realms, different areas outside of it. It's fascinating. But it's like, imagine how many people you'd be in contact with. Imagine how many, you know, love, romantic relationships that you've had in that way. It's like,
Yeah.
I feel like, there's this book that we talk about in counseling. I love it. It's called the Invisible String. And it's what we talk about when we're dealing with grief and loved ones dying. And that we're still connected by this invisible string. And I think, like, what if that does transcend lifetimes? What if that does transcend realms? What if this invisible string is so, it's a kid's book, but I'm like, no, that's true. That's based on truth, in
Yeah.
my view.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's got to be, right? Like, we got to have this frequency where we just meet people where we're like, man, I recognize you, or you're familiar.
Mm.
When my
Yeah.
when my boyfriend kissed me or my fiance kissed me for the first time, I was like, well, we've done that before, and it wasn't until I actually
Nice.
did that, like, those deep meditation, and
Mm.
then you actually go in, or, go into the quantum, and you actually start to remember what happened and all of this. And then you start to go back even further and see, like, what planets and all of that. And actually, it's really interesting because I found out that he is also my partner on Attica, and his
Oh, wow.
food is projecting his consciousness back, which I was like, this is so trippy, like, but I actually saw us rolling in the waves in Attica on that
Okay.
planet.
Wow.
And I was like, we were like swimming, and I could see, we were swimming together. And then I was like, holy heck, it's you again. Wow.
So, do you think he's a twin flame?
I gotta be honest with you.
You don't believe in it?
There's something about the whole twin flame thing that I don't like that expression for me personally. Um, but I do think that I mean, I think if we were to talk about the highest love possible that you could experience with another being, I think that 100% that's it. But I think the trouble that I have with it at the moment is it's like, I feel like it kind of gets like, I don't know, like manipulated in a lot of ways. Like, I think I've heard the words kind of like manipulated, so I kind of struggle with that one for me personally. But whatever the word is, of the highest love, of the deepest connection, yeah, 100%, yeah,
So,
that's him.
yeah, that's a good answer because like I said, I don't know. I wouldn't say twin flame. I said soulmate, whatever, right? Because I kind of don't. I've had so many experiences. Oh gosh, I'll say this what I'm about to say now. I've had so many experiences where it felt like there was a twin flame. So, like, how many, well, if that's what twin flame is, and also, I don't know enough about twin flame to say, yes, it's a twin flame. I cannot say that. And I mean, so are we hung up on these concepts is a question, right?
That's that's what I'm curious about for sure.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
in society, right? Like it's almost like I felt like there was a time where I just saw it always about, signs that you're with your twin flame and all this. And I just thought, like, I don't know, I don't necessarily, yeah, I don't know. I think it's beyond measure sometimes. Yeah, but
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to say the if that means I've had quite a few of them, but and apparently you can't have quite a few of them, so that's okay. You can only have one other, but
I
but
love that.
but this
I love
lifetime, I've been meeting because I think because it's my last time. I've
mm,
been clearing karma with all the past life husbands or
totally.
whatever, like whatever. they've just been coming along. I've been clearing, they've been going. And, that doesn't bode very well for an Indian woman in a very conservative society that I grew up in because I might look slutty. But, I mean, and I've thought, well, so what is, so, yeah, okay, whatever, you know,
Different concepts of those kinds of experiences. Mm.
exactly. And so I know that some people, my history with like having had like two marriages and stuff like that, people don't understand. I've had women shun me for it, not just men, not just like, the elderly people in my family, but I just feel like they have no idea of what this is about.
Mm.
They don't have a clue. Only I do. And so I also speak for women who are going through this. I feel like in some societies, we're so shunned because we're referred to as like, oh, you've got so many men. And I know you can't imagine that, Monique,
Mm.
because the
You're
society
right.
we live in here in New Zealand, we don't do that, right? We
Absolutely
never
right.
even think about that. But
Hmm.
where I come from, it's like, wow. And if you're a divorced, when I was quite young and divorced, people
Mm.
just shunned me because like a woman was scared I'd take their husbands because apparently that's what divorced women do. But,
Mm.
stuff like that. But the point is that nobody knows what an individual is going through, what's happening with their journey, how they're taking the time through that. Only that person does. And so often we look at something and when we judge it, we must really stop and think, okay, what's the platform of the judgment in that? Is it
Absolutely.
because we are closed-minded? Is it, well, are we saying this because that's a society we live in? And also, are you really wanting to live your life based on everything society says? Because, my gosh, how's it working out for you so far? That would be the
No,
question.
and it's so flip-floppy too, isn't it? What society says, like what's okay one minute is not okay, and people got pitchforks and all sorts. So but what I think is really interesting about you, Ananda, is that you're not like when I first saw your channel, I thought to myself, damn, this lady's ahead of her time. Like we're in a progressive time right now. And I was like, this lady's ahead of her time. Like she's like really open-minded. She's like, having conversations with people that I honestly think like I love the conversations. I think a lot of people probably didn't give them a chance, and I think that you did. And I think that that just speaks to the open-mindedness that you have. But I think you're ahead of your time in terms of even like your culture, even like, it's like you
Thank you.
it's like I really even like having these conversations. I mean, I speak to my dad. I think he's ahead of his time too in some of the conversations that he has, but I understand that I can never understand or conceptualize how hard it is to for people who have come from like I don't know different kind of backgrounds, different time, different religious experiences that they might feel like it's like even so much more ahead of their time talking about this stuff. So I just think it's amazing,
Hmm.
Um, I think
Hmm.
it's
Thank
brave,
you.
and I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that and I think that it's definitely a job for a manifesting generator because, like, how you were talking before about, oh, a lot of people get worked up, a lot of people get upset with some of the things I have to say, and hey, that's everyone's. You can feel however you feel, like that's okay, you know. Um, I just find it really interesting too because I think that like it's brave to speak what's on your heart, and I also think, especially coming from, your your like where you came from, like what things were okay and what weren't okay, and you're speaking all this stuff. It's so cool and like it's so brave of you. And I also just think that, with people that might find themselves upset like about that kind of thing, I don't know. I just think there's something about you, Rose, like you just challenge the norms, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Like I think it's we're only saying what people want to hear, if we're only saying what, we're trying not to rock the boat or whatever, it's like how authentic are we even being? Do you know what I mean? It's like are we saying what we want to say, or am I just gonna people please you and then
Hmm.
to the next person
Yeah.
because I don't want to offend them, It's like I don't know. I just think it's like there's bravery in what you're doing, how you're living.
Well,
Yeah,
I want to say
cool.
thank you. Well, firstly, I'm going to say thank you for that because it's what I've been doing. It's what I came to do, and I'm doing it. And I know maybe that sounds like very closed off to anything different, but it's not. It's not intended to be. It's just I have to be me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Is it closed off or is it authentic, you know? Is it
Exactly.
more of who you are?
Yeah.
Mm.
Monique, let's come back to this modality and this package, right? So
Sounds
when does
good.
it start? Is it already up for people to register for on your website?
Yeah, yeah. So it's up for people to book in. Just flick me an email. It launches on the 8th of the 8th at 8 p.m. You know how I love my angel numbers.
Oh my
Hello.
gosh, Lionsgate.
It's going to be one hang of a lion's gate
Go
this
the
year.
Lions. And I didn't mean the British Lions.
Yeah. You're ready for these changes. If you're ready to make your lion's gate the most powerful lion's gate it's ever been, then hit me up. I can't wait.
Awesome.
Excited for
Awesome. Oh,
it.
love it. I absolutely love it that that's the launch. You know, there's something so special about Lionsgate, right? When you launch,
100%.
it's like, my gosh, that Leo lion, just like when you launch from there, you just launch from a high place and it just keeps going and going and going. And
A
that's what I
hundred
love about it. 8th of the 8th. Right.
percent.
So, um, I will put the website in the description box for people to register, everybody. So that's the Monique, before we say goodbye, there's a couple of things I'm going to ask. Is there anything you want to refer to with regards to the case study, the why of this modality, this package, or this offering to the collective?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I did want to mention the price. It's $3,000 for the 3-month program. Um, I wanted to mention part of the case study was one of the clients that I had. She actually had really bad pelvic pain. So we're talking like endometriosis, but to another level. So she actually told me that when she experienced her period, when she experienced bleeding, not only would she black out, but she would speak another language that her husband had never heard of. Like no one has ever heard of it. She
Oh,
recorded herself. Yeah, so this is the kind of level like that she was going in with. She managed to find relief from some pharmaceutical products, but it would always die out. She
okay.
went over a decade. She was going to alternative medicine. She was going to Chinese medicine. All of this, and in that space, she still didn't find any relief. Like she was trying everything, she could not. Yeah, so I would imagine it was about the 3 to 4 months that we did this process that I've managed to condense down.
Hmm.
And yeah, she told me she's got absolutely no pain for the first
Wow.
time. Yeah, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And it was doing all this soul work, doing all this like finding out who am I,
Hmm.
where did I come from?
Hmm.
All of this has been like crucial in her healing. So
Okay.
it's just really interesting, I guess, how it can all manifest itself into the physical body,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the imprint that can leave in our soul. Mm.
Hmm. Tell me then, did she say anything about the language that she was speaking?
Yeah, yeah, that was really fascinating, eh? She didn't say anything about the language. In fact, she was blacked out the entire time. She recorded it on her phone. And she was like more interested and curious, but she was just like, I've never heard anything like it before. But she said and I hate to say it, but she said it felt like I was being possessed. Like, how sad is that, man? Every month, feeling like
Hmm.
you're being possessed, feeling like I often think of our womb as a portal. We're humans, we're so fascinating. So what they've found is that human DNA was manipulated and changed 2000, at least 2000 genetic changes. So I've managed to probably find I want to say about 50 um, recorrections, DNA recorrections, including the COVID vaccine. So I
Okay.
have managed to find the recorrected DNA. It's probably the easiest one to find. The
Hmm.
reason for that is because it was just in this lifetime. You know what I mean? Like the DNA changes happened in this
Current
lifetime.
lifetime. Yeah, in the current lifetime.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay.
So yeah. yeah, so it's interesting. I often think of the womb as a portal, so I'm not sure what might have attached,
Right. Yes.
what might have come through. Mm.
Okay. Wow.
And
That's fascinating, right?
isn't it? I'm super fascinated. But yeah, and how it managed to take control, how it managed to take possession when someone's at their weakest. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And also it feels like sometimes these things are lying dormant and then they start to they come alive and something sets it off. And obviously it's intended to come alive at a certain time. And there might be
yeah,
multiple people experiencing it, but we don't
yeah,
know because it's all over the world. Not everybody's connecting with each other, right? So it might be multiple people. They've really
yeah.
tried to change and mess with the DNA, haven't they? They've just really tried to do that a lot. And
They
so,
really, they really
um,
have.
yeah,
And
and yet here we are, still here, doing what we're doing.
and that's what I think as well, is if our natural form is, you know, nothing to worry about, why would they need to change our DNA 2,000 times? If
Exactly.
our natural form is so, people, I've heard them describe us as, monkeys with machine guns. And I'm just like, wow, you don't even know how powerful you are.
Yep.
Like, if that was the case, why'd they need to change our DNA 2,000 times to keep us,
Yeah.
from
Yeah. Why all the
alpha and that?
programming? Why
While
all
the
keeping the information that is so important away from us? Why the quest to prevent us from understanding who we truly are? Because it's
yeah,
all about domination.
absolutely. If we're so weak, if humans are so, whatever they want to
Yeah.
lead us to believe.
Yeah. That
Um,
concept itself that concept itself
mm,
is again damning, isn't it? It's basically making
uh,
us think that way, just keep reiterating that we're that way, so we'll believe it and we'll just carry on like that. We're
absolutely,
not.
and that's this beautiful part about this program is it's taking out all that DNA changes, all that those
Wow.
core beliefs that we've inherited from our family. We inherit beliefs from our family. We can get subconscious beliefs from our family.
Hmm.
So it's about taking all of that apart, taking it and seeing your true self. And that's really what I want to do for people, because what they have found, like what a lot of people theorize, is that as they were creating humans, they accidentally put too much of themselves into us, which they gave us a double dose, which
Wow.
made us more powerful than them. How cool is
Pretty cool.
that?
Pretty cool. Yeah, pretty cool. So it starts on the 8th of August at Lionsgate, runs for
It's
12 weeks, and you can find more information on, everybody can find more information on your website, which I will put a link to in the description box. Monique,
beautiful.
anything else before we go?
Oh, just so much love to you all. Thank you so much for hearing us today. And it's just been an absolute pleasure. Yeah, so much love to you. And I really appreciate your interview style. It's super curious. It's super, yeah, your open mind, your open heart. It's just really cool. And yeah, so much love to everybody. I can't wait. So hit me up.
Lovely. Thank you, Monique. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for your work on the planet. And I'm eternally grateful for that. I'm eternally grateful for what you do because I know I don't do and I can't do what you do because it's very unique and it's different from everybody else's, right? It's
I,
what it is.
I think we got made up of the same DNA though. So I reckon you could.
I haven't just tapped into that side of myself then, I guess. But thank you. Thank you so much for everything you're doing. And yes, everyone, thank you for watching. Thank you so much for your time. I know it's a little bit long. I've been hearing some sound distortions. If you're hearing it, I apologize to you in advance for that. When it comes out, the video. But this was an excellent conversation.
I
It
loved
was
it.
on point.
Love.
Yes,
It's
it
been
was on
so good.
time. Yeah, definitely. And so what it means is when this goes out, everybody who catches it will catch it at the right time and it will resonate. And like you say, somewhere along the line down the track, someone's going to find it and say, I know this. This is where I'm at now. So that's pretty good. Yeah.
100%.
Yes.
100%.
Thank Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
We'll catch you next time here on Ananda Rose. Bye.
Thank you. See you, Ananda.
Bye.